Hey there, how Brooke?
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm very well, Karen. How you been?
Good, good. Just like everybody else, very busy.
Oh, yes, that time of the year. Hi, Dr. Benz.
Good morning, Ronki. How are you?
I am well. Good morning, Lance. No, okay.
Hey, Karen.
Hi, hey, I know, long time no see.
I know. Thanks for popping on this morning. It's good to see you. Hey, Todd.
Morning.
Morning.
And morning, Christine.
Good morning, Alice. Okay, we have a good group already, huh?
We're getting there.
And now we can see you too, Karen.
Yeah, I turned on the video. Can you see me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we
Gotcha.
can.
Now that it's spring,
Oh, it's nice out.
oh, it's
You hear
gorgeous.
the birds and it's amazing. Let's hope we are done with winter.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
I was gonna say, you are ahead of yourselves for sure.
Good morning.
Hi, Lance. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Good morning, Lance.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, I think Paul cannot join us today, right? He is in Washington, D.C.
Yes, and both Keith and Sean unfortunately can't join us today either.
Okay.
Kelly will be on shortly.
And we're still waiting for Jim Gilday as well.
Yep.
Okay, so let's give it a minute or two.
Both Larry and
Yes,
Lou. Larry and Lou are here. I was getting tongue-tied to do our presentation today. Thanks, you guys, for being here.
pleasure.
Lou, you look like you're on site somewhere.
Yeah, sure. I'm at Bristol Tech today.
Great.
The posters are giving you.
Poster and the cement walls are giving you like,
I'm at Vinyls.
oh, you are.
Right.
Oh, that great. Thanks.
All right. Kelly's here.
There's it's
Perfect. Kelly and Jeff just joined.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, we have a
Morning,
quorum.
Jeff. Okie doke. Then 9:32. Then I think we can go ahead and call today's meeting to order.
so moved.
And good morning. And we want to start today's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you want to join me, everybody just unmute yourself so we can hear you all.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm in
Hi,
the car.
Jeff.
I'm in the car for a couple more minutes, so I'll spare you the road noise here.
Okie doke. If everybody is ready, let's go ahead with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, everyone. So do we have public participation today?
There's been no request or sign up for public participation today. Dr. Benz, I apologize. Can I bother you? We got a move by Karen to call the meeting to order, but I didn't receive a second.
Second.
Oh,
Thanks, Todd.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, if we have no public participation, then you have all received today's agenda in the meeting invite. I hope you all had time to take a look at it. Can I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Todd. May I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you very much. If there are no objections, we will consider the motion to approve today's agenda approved. Then also in the package for today's invite was the meeting minutes from January. Second agenda item would be to approve the January meeting minutes. I hope you all had a chance to take a look at this. May I have a motion to approve the January meeting minutes?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Todd. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Thank you, Lance. Are there any objections? If not, we move ahead and approve January's meeting minutes. Then we had, very exciting, the committee meetings, and I am super interested to hear the meeting updates. So Jim, you said you are still in the car, right?
No, that was Jeff. Jim
Okay,
has not
okay.
joined us yet, Dr. Benz.
Okay, so do we want to switch this and start with the career path committee meeting update and then move into the business and industry committee meeting update?
That sounds
Are
good.
you
Madam Chair,
ready?
Kelly Valerie said she would be happy to give the report on Keith's behalf since he was.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Take it ahead,
Great.
Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I'm not on camera, but I am also in the car this morning. Great about technology. We could take you with us wherever we go. I had the pleasure of sitting in on both committee meetings last week, and I'm excited to report out on the Career Pathway Committee. There is a tremendous amount of work happening across career pathways with the Department of Education, the community college system, and our four-year partners. As you all know, Career Pathways is one of the strategic objectives in the Governor's Workforce Council. So there's a committee that meets that includes and is chaired by Commissioner Russell Tucker and Chancellor Chang. And we also have a Governor's Cabinet meeting. I'm sorry, I'm getting a repeat. That's better. That meets on this topic as well. So we are really excited to have the focus on the CTECS career pathways. We discussed reauthorization of a few of the pathways that we'll be talking about that Alice can fill us in on. And then, really the idea of ensuring that all of our students have robust work-based learning experiences. One of the things that I've just learned recently with the update to the 119K Commission report on Opportunity Youth is that the students in the CTECS school system are significantly difference of not being disconnected or at risk of being disconnected. So the CTECS school system is doing a much better job keeping their students connected and giving those pathway opportunities to students who see themselves in a career after they graduate high school is beneficial, not only for their immediate education, but their lifelong career trajectory. So we're excited to have that report coming out in the next couple of weeks. our month or so, and understanding and seeing the CTECS school system called out specifically there really is a model for the best practices that hopefully our comprehensive schools can adopt in a more robust way. The other item that we talked about is because there's so much work happening in pathways, that we could make a very, very large committee that might slow us down a bit. So this idea of picking topics and themes for the committee meetings and then inviting guests that are working in those areas outside of the CTEC board could be a beneficial way to move those conversations forward, increase connectivity to our community-based organizations, and very specifically to enhance our connections with businesses. So I'll pause there for any questions and to have Alice fill in any gaps that I may have missed.
No, Kelly, you did great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, no questions. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Now we have the trade reauthorization topic, right? What do we need to achieve in today's meeting with the trade reauthorization?
So both Lou and Larry had the pleasure of sharing their manufacturing and transportation, distribution and logistics trade reauthorization to the committee. So at this time, I'd ask them to bring the report forward for the full board's review.
Thank you.
And can I just, Ronki, can I just procedurally, that we will ask the board to vote on these at the end? Could you just say a bit about that so that people are aware?
Absolutely. So we're required by statute to get the board's vote on the acceptance of the trade reauthorization. That this trade reauthorization is for the next 5 years. So give me 1 second, Larry and Lou, to get your PowerPoint up on the screen and we'll get started. Just let me know when it pops up. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Right. So Larry, you want to jump in?
Sure, thank you. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself to the board. For those that don't know me, my name is Larry Pomalu. I'm the Associate Education Consultant for the Manufacturing Cluster. The manufacturing cluster for the purpose of this trade reauthorization is for 3 shops, mechanical design and engineering technology, also referred to as MDET, precision machining technology, which is a PMT, and our welding and metal fabrication shops. We'll start with MDET. MDET, we have 8 programs located in throughout the state of Connecticut, and you can see there where they're located. The MDET shop is pretty much a trade that students can either go into industry after graduation or continue on to a college engineering degree. So we have 2 pathways pretty much coming out of that particular program. All the data that we're referring to here comes from the Department of Labor under 3 occupations: mechanical drafter, mechanical engineering technician, and mechanical engineering. And what we're seeing is that the average wage increase has increased over the last 5 years. at least $5 to $7, almost $10 an hour for our students that are going into the workforce. And obviously the college also increased. What's really interesting is that the projected jobs needed for that industry has also increased across the board for mechanical drafters, up 40, the mechanical technician 270, up 30, and also overall going into the engineering field. Our number of graduates over from 2020 to 2024 has taken a slight dip in the 23-24 range. A lot of that could be attributed to shops that have a lot of screen time. We're finding that students coming out of COVID are still affected by sitting in front of a computer all day. We're changing our approach for this year and next year and going forward is we're making it more of a hands-on. So not only learning SolidWorks and AutoCAD, but getting 3D modeling involved and combining capstone type projects, engineering projects. So we're seeing increase in that area. Any questions regarding MDET?
A really quick question to the declining graduates. Is it that less students enroll in this program, or does just a lower number of students graduate from the program?
Yes, we're seeing a decrease in the number of students enrolled via the exploratory program, and that's going forward. So it progresses. So if you're going to get low numbers 2-3 years ago recruiting for exploratory, that kind of catches up to us in the graduation rate this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
I just had a comment as well. This is Kelly Valeries. One of the things that we see in the application of students coming out of engineering programs is a lack of understanding how the work that they do on a computer building an AutoCAD model translates into actual production. And so I know in my organization, every engineer starts out on the shop floor, learning how to actually run the equipment and understand what the parameters of the equipment are. So when they're engineering items, that they have that practical experience as to how it's actually built. And I'm wondering that, if some more hands-on work can be done with the students, I think it would be of a great value to their experience and to their ability to get a higher paying job when they come out of school. So those capstone programs could be, designing something and then going into the shop and building it. Or could be a relationship between the students in the AutoCAD classes and the students in the machining and welding courses, where those students are actually building the things that the students in the mechanical programs are designing. And that builds a real world experience for those students to be able to understand the relationship between engineering and manufacturing, and to build those communication and collaboration problem solving skills, because they have to work together in order to build something. And that is really a hands-on experience. So would love to just have some thought around, enhancing maybe that type of collaboration experience within the classrooms. And it might also make it more attractive for students to participate in these programs.
Oh, to your point, Ms. Valeries, we're taking that on with our capstone projects between the MDET shops and the PMT shops. So where we have both shops located in a single school, we're taking that approach. We did something about 4 years ago with Education Connection out of Goshen, where we did exactly what you did. We presented a situation where the design team had to design something and work in conjunction and build an actual product going in with the PMT shop. And another area that we see those two shops merging is in the Skills USA competition, where Skills USA is going away on the CNC aspect, less in actually making chips and more in designing via Mastercam, which also tends to work well with SolidWorks and AutoCAD. So we're seeing that moving forward. My general plan going forward, my guiding light is to, in an ideal world, 5-10 years from now, is all these shops merge as far as Industry 4.0, where they're all working together and we can cross-train.
Yeah, and I think that's great. You know, and aspirationally, 5-10 years down the line, we're actually in Industry 5.0 now. Oops, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good, Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, we're already on Industry 5.0. So we're very far behind Connecticut and Industry 4.0, which is automation. So another concept could be bringing in the robotics programs into the classroom setting. And, you know, as we talk about these things, a capstone project is a great idea and a great experience for students, but more integrated collaboration throughout the entire academic 4 years or 3 years once they've picked their shop is a much more meaningful experience than one capstone. So I'm happy to talk more about this offline, but would really be interested to see how we can push these types of collaborations across the shop strands together faster than 5 to 10 years.
Noted, Dr. Valeries. It sounds like you've just given us our next agenda topic for our Pathways Committee. So more to come. I want to give Dr. Birch a time to speak. She has her hand raised.
Yes, thank you. What the question I had was, and I read about this, that Platt Tech was actually doing a program that had more of a simulated manufacturing floor with more applied applications. So I don't know if that's still in place or is that being replicated. I don't know if you could comment on that.
Platt Tech was the recipient of a $500,000 grant from the Gene Haas Foundation. And what we did down there is when they remodeled their school, they received an abundance of brand new CNC equipment and support equipment. But with the $500,000, we brought in more CMMs, coordinate measuring machines, and we brought in SolidWorks. That particular school does not have an MDET program, so it's a we're fortunate that has a 3 instructor program, and we rotate the students throughout design, manufacturing, and coordinate measuring machine, 3D printing, and that kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you. I just know I had read a couple articles about it, so thank you for that.
Mr. Birch, you have a question or comment?
Yes, through the chair to Kelly, I guess Kelly and Larry, if I may.
Please.
Being a graduate of Caner Tech, there has been correlation for decades between the electrical, plumbing, masonry, because that's how you build buildings. There has to be coordination. That being said, those integrations between the various occupational shops have met in the past. Their core, the one core they have is blueprint reading as a course specific to their trade. That being said, I think it's more of a value for manufacturing and construction unilaterally to have the trigonometry component be part of the contextualized learning of academics and their trades. That's the missing link. Has been for a very long time, how to actually correlate Pythagorean theorem and what you're doing. Specifically, again, in the XYZ coordinates of manufacturing, pitch of pipe for plumbing, different coordinates for Ohm's law with regard to electrical. So these have happened in the past. I think maybe just a robust look of actually bringing the academic portion again, and correlating it specifically with the actual shops, as opposed to the shops integrating, would be something I think we really should look at.
Noted. Thank you for that feedback, Mr. Birch. Larry, I'll give the floor back to you.
All right, thank you. We'll continue on to our precision machining technology. We have 15 programs throughout the state. What we're doing there is we're trying to create a common curriculum for grades 9, 10, half of 11th grade, and create 11th and 12th grade curriculum specific to the areas of our where our schools are located to meet the needs of industry of where the school's located. So you could see down at Platt, we've incorporated the engineering QC type functions to it. In areas that we have metal stamping, deep drawn eyelets, we're bringing in the tool and die aspect of it. So we're making some dynamic trade changes there. The needs for manufacturers or precision machining is skyrocketing right now. So there's a high level demand. As you can see on this, we went for your regular machinist from 7,500 to 8,200 projected going forward. The interesting part of this is you would think a lot of high tech, high end CNC, and that venue or that area is requesting employees. We're also seeing the need for the traditional tool and die maker, machinist, the non-computerized area. Right now we have approximately, get that number, we have, excuse me, 143 registered WBL participants out of PMT. That's the highest of all the shops, of which 51 are registered pre-apprentices through the Department of Labor. So those are excellent numbers as of today, and those are always expected, and they certainly rise. Where we're getting a lot of our requests for students, where we've never placed students and during the summer of between sophomore and junior year, we're getting a lot of if the student is 16 years old and they have successfully completed 10th grade, during that summer they can become and participate in work-based learning and or become a pre-apprentice, and we're seeing a high increase in that level. The caveat of that is if you take that student out of the element and participating in WBL at that young of an age, there's certain items that they're not going to be exposed to in the curriculum, and the employers are well aware of that, and they're in such high demand that they're willing to sacrifice that to have a good employee. The projected growth is good, and we are participating in Skills USA. We have a high number of students participating, and all in all, technology is really the key leader as far as getting equipment in. Our PAC meetings or our craft committees, as some of you might know, or CTECS, are extremely involved in all our programs. They are the guiding light for us to have industry communicate back to us as to where we need to go. The message is very clear. They don't want a cookie cutter curriculum. They want to be able to have students from the area where the school is to meet the needs of the manufacturers in that area. Any questions on the precision machining side?
Seeing none, Larry.
Okay, then we'll go on to welding and metal fabrication.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't unmuted. I had one question.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Could you go back to that table you just showed, Ronki, with the number of graduates and who is working in this one? Exactly. I just want to make sure I understand the categories correctly. So we had 186 graduates, right, from the program. 46 went on to further education. The available for employment, 111. What is that category exactly? Does that mean the 111 students are currently not working in their field?
At the time of the survey that was given. So we have an enrollment of 820 students, approximately a range anywhere from 820 to 900 at any given time over 3 years. And at that graduation group, that can include military, just students that took the trade and haven't decided yet that they want to get back into it or for various reasons.
I'm just wondering if we wanted really to see a much higher number in the employment full-time in related field, for example, area. Are we happy with the numbers we see there, or do any of these numbers raise concerns for you?
Well, I wouldn't be happy until all my students graduate out of a PMT program and go into the trade or go on to further their education. A lot of times you have, you're asking a 14-year-old during their 9th grade as to what shop they want, and they go through the 4 years and they learn to trade. And we always preach that in precision machining or manufacturing in general, there's a seat for every type of student going forward, whether it's somebody that works on an assembly line or works on a manual as a mold maker or as a CNC. And a lot of times they just want to take that gap year to see what's going on, where they're going to work. What I find is that not only do I have a lot of those students that graduate that aren't involved in WBL or pre-apprentice, they come back and they'll ask me, do we have any openings? And also I see a lot of students from other trades that are similar come and say, I tried it. I'm not making the money I think I'm going to make. Could I go into manufacturing?
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on when this survey was given, how it was given. We need to look at that also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just we see, on the prior page, there is a high demand. The state of Connecticut needs employees in these fields. And then we see that many of the graduates or a significant portion of the graduates doesn't find full-time or doesn't look for full-time employment in that area. And I'm wondering whether we have to take a closer look on what's the reason. Is it transportation, for example? Can't they just not get to the companies that are looking to hire them? Or are there other reasons? Anything we could do from our side to increase that number? They are working full-time in their field.
Transportation is a huge, I don't want to use the word issue, but it's big with the involvement of students in work-based learning. We tried to get. We've done a lot of things, but we certainly need to work in that area also.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Benz, if I may.
Yep.
Kids are kids. We're looking at these from adult lenses, and I think we have a huge need in manufacturing. There's no question about it. As Larry had mentioned, you're in 9th grade to kind of pick your future, right? You're 18 years old, and chances are you're going to go and do what you want. And I'm going to be very fair to higher education for that matter. 50% go to college, make it through college, but a lot more of them go to it, right? So it comes down to a choice as an 18-year-old kid, like, all right, what are my next steps? A lot of them do go, they take the gap year that we've all heard about and this, that, and the other thing. But I think we have to realize sometimes that these are kids. I think what might be an interesting idea is have a 2-year out forum or invite people to say, hey, instead of a survey, let's meet and have a discussion of, how was this advantageous? Did you just want to do something different? When I entered Cater Tech in 1983, I wanted to be a chef, and I wanted to weld because I thought it was cool. If I was a chef, probably wouldn't be sitting here with you guys today. But it's an interesting dynamic to have an 18-year-old kid make up their mind. But overall, comparatively throughout the country, I mean, we have a great system. Even though they're, the numbers are like, wow, of course there needs to be more, but we're asking children to make that entire choice for themselves. So, thank you.
Thank you for that feedback, Mr. Burchin. I agree with your sentiments. When we're talking about students and the grades and their age, it's really important that we keep in mind that the exposure of opportunity and the possibility also fits into that main story. And also the work that we do to ensure that there's a clear pathway to guide them towards their dreams and ambitions is really important. So echoed sentiments, I agree.
Okay, last but certainly not least is our welding and metal fabrication. I don't have enough welders to fulfill the needs of all the welding positions that are available out there. Right now, we currently have 3 very successful programs: Cheney Tech, Rosso Tech, and Bristol Technical Education Center, all of which are when we have 9th grade recruiting, the threshold is 18, and we get students in the 35 to 40 number of 9th graders that want that program. We recognize the need. I'm on the advisory board for Electric Boat and Sonidia as to what are we doing to increase the demand, not only for the big 3s, Electric Boat, Sikorsky and Pratt, but all the suppliers that supplied tier 1 and tier 2 to them. Before we get into numbers, some of the stuff that we're going forward with is we opened up an evening program at Norwich Tech that does evening adult welding instruction. Right now I'm in communications with Dr. Menounos. We're planning something for another school where it's a combined welding manufacturing program together. We're going to be presenting throughout the year. We have a high placement rate with our welding programs. So if we can scroll forward a little bit. Thank you, Rocky, right there. You can see that where our welders go are not necessarily just in the field of manufacturing. A lot of our welders end up in the pipe fitting, plumbing area, and they also end up in the construction area with the Steelworkers Association. So right now, our curriculum is geared to basic welding with a heavy weight on the manufacturing side. So we see the projected numbers going from 2,410 to 2,700. And the current numbers from the Department of Labor for that other proposal just shows it increasing exponentially. Keep in mind that these Department of Labor numbers do not reflect, I'm told, the future of what Electric Boat will be needing going out 5 to 10 years. So you can pretty much add a substantial quantity of openings to these numbers here. Our welding and metal fab, we participate in several educational competitions. We have the one that we do in conjunction with Electric Boat, where we have 5 schools, including 2 from Rhode Island. And last year, our Cheney Tech welding not only won the states, but also won national. So we have some good stuff going on down there. Any questions regarding welding and metal fabrication?
Seeing none, Larry, thank you very much for that comprehensive report. I want to take this opportunity to commend you. You're one shop of one and mighty, handling our entire manufacturing clusters for the entire CTECS. So I want to applaud you underneath the helm of Nikki Menounos, our curriculum and instructions superintendent, and commend all the work you're doing, Larry. So thank you for that comprehensive report.
Thank you. If anybody has any questions, please reach out. I'm available.
Dr. Birch?
Yeah, I had actually two things. One is, are we going to receive a copy of the slides? The PowerPoint
Yes, you
slides?
should have received it in your board packet. And if that's not the case,
Okay.
here, please let me know. I can resend.
Okay. And then secondly, how are you doing recruiting teachers for all of these areas?
Well, for welding, it's not that it's not easy. It's a small percentage. We had one opening recently. We were able to acquire a welder from Electric Boat, which was nice because that helps us out. On our MDET side, we've had many openings. We still have an opening now at our Emmett O'Brien plant. But what we're finding is that we're getting a lot of, we filled 4 positions in our MDET, and most of them came from Electric Boat or the Sikorsky. So that's really good. In our PMT side, we didn't have any openings this year, but last year and the year before we had, and we were pretty successful. So
That's great.
I won't say it's easy, but we have to work at it.
Yeah, that's great. And I love the partnership with Electric Boat / industry, because I think that is not necessarily, it is a solution to trying to get experienced teachers and faculty. So that's great. And again, congratulations. You're doing a fabulous job.
Oh, thank you.
All right. At this time, we'll turn the floor over to Lou Camacho to go over our transportation, distribution, and logistics cluster.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Lou Camacho. I'm the Associate Education Consultant over the Transportation Cluster. So we'll start our presentation today with automotive collision. So we have 8 locations, with the Danbury location being the most recent addition. That program produced its first graduates. Actually, it's going to produce its first graduates this year. So it opened 4 years ago. Or reopened 4 years ago. So if you scroll down, look at some of the numbers, some of the data. So there's a few different categories with the collision programs, a few different pathways. Most of our students are going to go into an automotive collision body shop where they're going to be painting or refinishing, repairing damaged vehicles in collision. But there are also new facets of the industry with technology, with a lot of the accident avoidance, something we refer to as ADAS. There's some calibrations and different areas of technology, again, with the collision industry that are up and coming. There's also glass repair, which also ties into some of that calibration with the cameras and lane departure sensors and things. Of course, there's sales and then other management positions as well. It looks like we're looking at some growth across all boards in the industry. And then our graduation follow-up data, it looks like our graduates are pretty consistent. We see a little bit of a dip. We're on track for 80 graduates this year, so we're picking back up. As far as the available for employment, some of this data, I think, anecdotally is incorrect. I think we had talked about it earlier. I think that when I share this data with all my teachers, and they share it with their program advisory committee members, and I know that they've given me feedback that the actual numbers, they're aware of where their graduates are, is sometimes higher, but I think we don't get the participation in the graduate follow-up surveys that we'd like to see. And I think that anecdotally, I think the data that we should be reporting is probably higher. I think we're more successful than we're reporting in this in these graphs, in these charts rather. You can scroll down. So the next program we'll talk about is automotive. We do have an automotive. There's 18 automotive programs. So there's one at each school. The automotive programs encompass everything from brakes, steering, suspension, engine performance, emissions. One of the things we're piloting, we hope will help increase our work-based learning data, is we're piloting an emissions testing program. So our students are going to graduate with a credential that allows them to do emissions testing. So there's over 200 emissions test locations across the state, and they're always looking for people that could do the emissions testing. And so we've partnered with DMV and Opus Inspection. We started at one school last year, and it was successful, and we're expanding that to all of our schools this year. So all of our seniors this year are going to graduate with the qualification they could test emissions, and we hope that that's going to help them get an entry-level position at a dealership or repair shop that does emissions testing. Just looking at some salaries and growth numbers, automotive is continually growing, many different facets of the industry as well. You can scroll down our graduate. So currently we have in automotive just over 1,000 students. Our graduation rate, Ron, if you could keep scrolling down. Also seems to be consistent. We're on track this year for 243 graduates, so we're growing. Once again, available for employment. I think we're reporting probably better numbers than we're not capturing all of our placements. Is what I'm saying here. And then finally, our last program is diesel. Diesel is, keep going. Diesel and heavy duty equipment repair is at 2 locations. We only have 2 locations at Cheney and Final. The work-based learning, I know Larry had mentioned some of his numbers there. Work-based learning, he had the highest number, but I think diesel has one of the highest percentages. We have 36 students out on work-based learning from the 2 programs out of the 59. That's over 50% of the students that qualify for work-based learning are out in a work-based learning partnership. It's definitely the program I get the most calls on. There's a lot of employers that are looking for diesel technicians. We try to leverage any automotive students, a lot of the skills transfer, and so we, because we only have the 2 diesel programs, we kind of try to fill some of those vacancies with automotive students as well. Currently, if you scroll down, you can see the growth there. So salary, they pay very well, and the openings, we have projected openings. So just a little bit more. All right. So again, we're seeing some growth there. We're also looking at so not just a over the road truck. There's a big demand in equipment, heavy duty repair, excavators. A lot of those equipment, off road equipment, are now getting a lot of electronics, a lot of sensors and emissions requirements that are going to be imposed on some of that equipment. So there's going to be a lot more technology in the more sophistication in the again, excavation and the heavy duty machineries, the earth moving machinery. And then you can see that the graduation rates are consistent. So you can see they're increasing. We did open a second program. We had 1 program at Cheney. We opened a second program at Vinyl. And so you can see they're increasing. And this year we're on track for 28 graduates for both programs. And again, it's the program that I have the most, the most called. I get the most demand for people filling those positions. I think that's about it. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Hello, this is Todd. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Todd. Fellow Caner graduate.
Indeed, go Panthers. Like, I agree with you. I I've got employers screaming at me about mechanic program, diesel mechanics specifically. It's been this thing that's floundered around. Like, hey, this apprenticeship thing sounds good because they like what's coming out of Cheney. They love what's coming out of Vinyl. What's the expansion of program to other schools to meet the need is question number one.
Mm.
And question number two, I mean, your statistics are spot on. And it's growing. You're right. It's not about over the road trucks. It's about generators. It's about one thing you're missing is the entire marine the need for marine mechanics, which are diesel, is just I don't even know how many calls I field on a weekly basis, more than my healthcare and more than my construction even. So I don't know if there's a look for expansion of such, but I mean it's so needed. Right now, there's only 2 diesel mechanic schools within like 3 states to actually have participants go to. It's like 40 grand. So these employers are looking for somebody with a good base that CTECS provides to actually take them to the next step. So, first of all, good work, and second of all, I just want to know if there's any expansion progresses.
We constantly have conversations about expanding the program. One of the challenges with a diesel and equipment program is the space. It really has to be an appropriate space. And so as we build out schools, that's really where those conversations are happening. And so, we continue to have those conversations. But again, it's something it's very difficult to retrofit a space to accommodate the bigger equipment and the bigger trucks.
Just one very quick comment. I know we are short on time now, but thank you very much, Larry and Lou, for these updates. I think what we see is that your programs give kids a good start into high-paying and high-demand jobs. One comment to the statistics you showed. I am, an industry partner. I am sitting on the side of companies who have open positions and can't fill them. So if we can do more in really understanding why are students not staying in their paths, why are they not looking for full-time employment in these high-demand areas, that would be very beneficial and important.
That includes our trade authorization. Lou, Larry, thanks again for all your work. Dr. Benz, would you like to take over the agenda and pull us through to our next topic?
Okay, so next agenda item would be to vote, right, on the authorization. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so may I have a motion to approve the trade authorizations we just looked at? I saw
Motion to approve.
message from Kelly. She approved it via text, but
Second.
Lance, I think that was the first one, right? May I have a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Then do I have any objections?
No.
If not, then we consider the motion approved unanimously. And we move on to the next agenda item, which is the Interim Executive Director report.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Interim Superintendent Burke can join us as well because he's out on a school visit today. So I just wanted to make a few quick reports on both of our parts. So as Freeman is doing today, we're continuing our school visits. I know I have about 7 more to go, and the 2 Aero programs. All of that will happen in March, and Superintendent Barr will have all of his finished by the first full week of April. So we've had a wonderful opportunity to go out and visit with all the schools, to have a chance to talk with leadership, to talk with instructors and staff, and most importantly with students. So we're both having a wonderful time doing that, and we'll have more to say about that. I also wanted to tell you, I'm excited to report that we have 2 new hires. One of the things, we were missing a few key administrative positions when I arrived almost 3 months ago. So excited to say that we have a new HR business partner. Dr. Heidi Gray joined us about 2 weeks ago. She's hit the ground running and is helping us to look at many of our HR related issues. And I'm excited to report that we will have a CFO starting on March 7th, long awaited. Gennaro DeAngelis will be joining us. Gennaro is coming from Connecticut State Community College, where he's been finance and administrative leader over the past decade. So excited to have him joining our team and looking forward to him digging into our budget processes, et cetera. So excited for both of those things. I also wanted to mention that Superintendent Burr and I are both also starting or restarting a series of leadership and cross-functional team meetings just to improve collaboration and coordination at the central office and also to promote some more strategic thinking. So a lot of work at the central office to kind of get our trains back to running on time. So that's all exciting work. But I wanted to spend another minute or two just reporting on the governor's proposed budget for CTECS. I know that you all have been concerned about our financial position in the past, and so I wanted to tell you where that was. So recognizing that we have been running a deficit over the past 2 years, the Office of Policy and Management and the governor's office have proposed a budget that annualizes our current budget and our deficit. So they've increased, the proposal is to increase our budget by about $12 million, both for operating expenses and for personal services. And so that'll bring our annual budget up to $211 million a year. So that is a great place for us to start from. It basically represents a flat budget for us. But given that we've been running a deficit, we're hopeful that we can start to remedy that. So that's the starting point. There's a long way to go in the legislative process. I testified before the Appropriations Committee last week. They asked good questions about whether these were sufficient resources to keep us going, and that conversation will continue with them. The governor's office also provided a proposal for bond funds that totaled about $225 million. A large chunk of that is slated to help in the building of a new school for Wyndham Tech. And so we're hopeful that will go through and we can begin that work. Also provided much needed resources for IT. Some resources for district-wide facilities, about $60 million, and then some money for some work on the Goodwin Tech project as well. So good starting points in both of the bond and the general fund budgets, and we'll continue to talk with legislators about what we need going forward. So happy offline to talk to anybody about the budget situation. We did send out messages to just actually yesterday to the full kind of CTECS community with the Appropriations Committee link so they could see it and a bit of an update for folks on the budget. So again, trying to communicate to our broader stakeholder group where we stand as we go through the legislative process. I do believe that next week, both my nomination and the nomination for Sean Coyne will come up in the House. I am lucky and only have to be voted on by the House. Sean has both the House and the Senate, so knowing he will go flying through, we'll keep you posted on those things as well. But that's just a quick update from my point. And again, given time, I'll keep it short for today, but look forward to providing other updates as people would like them. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Alice. We keep our fingers crossed for next week. And just a very brief report from my side. Wanted to give you a quick update on the superintendent search. We have made good progress. Most of the candidates went through the first round of evaluations. We had a few first round interviews, and we will finish up the first round interviews in March. Will invite then the selected candidates to a second round interview before you will see the selected candidates in the panel interviews. So we have an industry panel and an education panel, and we would like these panels to speak to the selected candidates. And our goal is still to have, by the end of March, so by the end of next month, the candidates at Alice's desk. and have the superintendent on board as quickly as possible after that. More to come in our next meeting. Looking at the calendar, thank you very much everyone for attending today's meeting, Zoom meetings. It is easy, no travel. Our next board meeting will be at CTECS. So please put it in your calendars, block the morning, and I assume we will get the chance to look at the school again, a quick tour, which was really, really cool in the January meeting to see. Kelly mentioned that the technical high schools are really doing well in terms of student engagement. And I think seeing the students and going on this tour really brings that topic home. When you see how engaged and how excited the students are, this really makes our job here on the board even more fun. So I'm looking forward to see all of you for the March meeting at CTECS. Now, is there any other topics, comments anyone would like to bring up?
A two-part. I hope that Lou and myself get to wear our old Caner jackets next month. And second, if the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I know where mine is.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved, Karen.
Okay, Karen and Todd seconds it, I think. With that, have a wonderful Wednesday, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Benz.
Thank you, Ranky. Bye-bye.
Bye now.